Great. Okay, so thank you again for coming here. Could you just introduce yourself and talk a bit about your background?
Uh, my name is Jatin Goswami. I'm an actor, and I was born in Haryana and brought up in Delhi mostly. And mm, I come from an extremely humble background, and nobody in my family had ever, anything to do with any kind of art. Actually, not just acting, but like it's a family of lawyers, doctors, merchant navy, chartered accountants. So, um, and I have no clue where this come from. This want of being on stage or wanting to perform. Um, so yeah, about my background, I think that's what it was.
I think it's interesting
Very,
because, yeah, a part of like, even because I'm a part of the Indian diaspora, and I feel in general, whether you're from India or whether you're an Indian living like in Mauritius or Fiji, there's just this general, hey, you've got to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer. And, I feel in a sense, maybe it was like a bit of a rebel move to go into the arts.
I know.
Yeah, like I'm on the same, like I feel the same way because or even like technology, if you have family that are into tech, because I have family who's into accounting as well. So it's like when you choose to be an artist, people are looking at you like you're crazy. um so
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. Now, why have you wanted to become an actor, and when in your life did you decide to become an actor?
Hmm.
Did you just want to be the rebel?
No, not exactly. Actually, it all started, I think, when I think I went to see a play. And before that, I think, like my parents were working, so, and my sister was like 5 years old, is 5 years older to me. And so there would be this time gap between where, I would get some time at home when my sister would be in school and my parents would be at work and I was alone at home. So a lot of times I remember I would imagine a lot of things, in my mind. There would be a lot of stories, which I feel every child does. They like to live in that imaginary world, but some of them, grow out of it. And, there's a time where okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like it all started from there where, I didn't have a lot of toys. So I would imagine like make a bottle into a dog by, putting a leash on it like a rope. And I would say
Yeah.
that I'm taking him for a walk and, things like that. Or just open an umbrella and sit under it. And I would say that this is my pan ki dukan. And, have imaginary people coming and taking pan from me. And these are all things and characters that I've seen in real life, So I'm just recreating it. So I think it all started from there. But then I think when I was 12, I went and watched a play, and in Delhi, and those just house lights coming off, and the stage illuminating, and and it was a play for kids. It was Little Mermaid or something like that. And I remember my sister's friend was a crab in that play. She was, and I could, I said, oh, she's that, and I was so mesmerized by the whole thing. And I clearly remember that I had that strong urge of wanting to be on stage, right there, you know. And I think I was 12 or 13. And strangely, for me being an actor, it was never about, I never thought of it like, I want to be a star, I want to be in films or in the industry, film industry, or I want to be, it wasn't the glamour of it. It started from actually just wanting to be on stage and, yeah,
I think
living that imaginary.
Yeah, and that parallels, you talking about your humble background. So the fact that you weren't in
Yeah,
it for the glitz and glamour, just
yeah.
wanting to tell these stories. I just want to backtrack a little bit. You said you're from Haryana. That's near Uttar Pradesh, right?
No, not exactly. Actually, it's like close to Delhi
Oh,
and
okay,
Punjab.
okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
but I was just born there. My mom's like my nana nani was there, and so I was born there, and I used to keep going there for holidays and everything.
Okay, okay.
So
Got it.
yeah, but mostly I was studying and everything was in Delhi.
In Delhi. Okay, okay. I only ask because like I'm into genealogy research, and because my ancestry
Ah,
traces back to India, my ancestors are
uh-huh.
actually from Bihar and Uttar
Oh
Pradesh.
wow.
Yeah, so
Oh.
so that's why I ask, because still trying to figure things out.
Mhm.
I haven't been to India, but one day we'll see. um,
Where do you live?
so I live in New York. My parents are
Okay.
from South America, because
Okay.
Indians were taken from India by the British
Yeah.
to the Caribbean and the
Mm.
West Indies,
Yeah.
as indentured servitude laborers.
Mhm.
Because when slavery was abolished, the European empires, so the British, Dutch, and French, needed to find cheap labor, and that's where
Mhm.
Indians came in. And so they
Mm.
kind of kidnapped them, they duped them into thinking that they would have a better life outside of India.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
my great great grandparents are actually from India, so
Okay.
they traveled to the West Indies, and so it's
Mhm.
been like an identity crisis trying to
Wow.
figure out how
Mm.
Caribbean am I, how Indian am I, and then battling the American identity, because
Wow.
I'm not
Mm.
your white American. So
Mm.
it's been an interesting ride, but the more that I get to learn about India, it brings me closer, um, to
So
my
like you're
heritage.
like the fourth generation who's like uh
Well, I'm first generation in America,
okay.
but yeah, about five generations off from India.
Oh.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's an
Mhm.
interesting ride. Yeah, because I have like South Asian friends. I've had a really good friend from Mumbai when I was in college, and he
Mhm.
always thought of me as like his distant family. I was like, you never know. I probably have people who didn't get on that boat who are still in India. Um, and then there
Yeah.
are like South Asians that I've met who don't believe we're Indian because we're so far removed.
Mm.
So like because I identify as Indo-Caribbean, and a lot of South Asians that I've met have been like, you shouldn't be further hyphenating your already hyphenated identity. So
Mm.
it's been a battle, but it is what it
Mm.
is. Yeah. Um,
Wow.
yeah. But going back to your actor path, what influenced you beside that play, The Little Mermaid? Was there any people or films?
In the beginning, no, because I think I remember after that I already had that thought of wanting to actually be on stage and try my hand in like performing or something. But unfortunately, I could not get a chance because I was not so good in studies, and there's this whole thing of Indian education system where
Right.
only if you're good in your academics you get a chance to be on uh, in curricular activities, co-curricular activities, and all that. So, and I was pretty shy about actually. I was a shy person. I was a shy kid. I was not very confident, and I was not someone who would express how he feels. so so this stayed within me, and this thought marinated in my mind for a long time before I could actually do something about it. But meanwhile, I remember I started performing in front of friends, and um, you know uh, more like a class clown kind of thing.
Got it.
um,
Okay.
yeah, because it had to come out somewhere, I feel that so um, and I also feel that it was kind of a um, mm, therapeutic thing for me as a kid, because when you're there is this thing of wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard, and the thing of being able to express. And I feel it like acting was something that helped me cope with all this by being stupid, basically, in front of people. Yeah,
Yeah, no, but it definitely, and then, just understanding your realities and how could you incorporate that into your imagination in the way that you were performing, in a sense, in that
yeah,
smaller community. Um, and then we'll get into like Vicky Rye later because, you telling
yeah.
me that you're shy and then it's like seeing him on screen, it's incredible. So before
Yeah.
auditioning for a role, what types of stories
No, but
generally?
about I still didn't answer that. But
Oh,
mostly,
sorry.
I was I was more influenced by, at that time. I saw two films by Mr. Nasiruddin Shah. One was
Oh,
Sparsh, and one was Pestonji. And this
oh,
happened on 2 weekends, actually, on a duration of like 10 days or something. And I was just like blown away, because I was like, this is the same guy, and you can do all this.
he's
Possibilities are so
incredible.
much.
Yeah,
He is
yeah.
incredible. And I feel that after that, I kind of thought that this is something that can be taken seriously.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, no, I love his films. He is so versatile as an actor.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Um, yeah, so, you know, starting from your beginnings and now these stories that you receive. So what generally attracts you? What are you looking for in a story before you audition for a role or accept anything?
Mhm. Right now, I don't like, I generally, it's about saying yes to most of the things that come to me. What I don't like about things is if it's something which is like, it has to excite me somewhere. Like the story has to be, it has to say something more than just, I don't know how to put it.
Maybe like these repetitive story tropes that, they constantly
Yeah,
have, and then it's just like, let me replace the actors, different actors, but same
exactly,
story trope. Um,
exactly.
yeah, like that's
Just
what
for the
I've
heck of
noticed.
it,
Yeah, yeah,
like most of the, yeah, yeah, it's a love story, and the guy is in the mafia, and he becomes a, and you're like,
yeah,
okay, and they just see me like, oh, he can do this well, so let's just approach him,
right.
or he's a bad guy, or sometimes even like something different. But uh, like, if there's like interesting motivations for the character, and what, or even not motivations, the choices that he's making, and you know uh, are interesting, and uh, something new, something that excites you, that you've never thought of before or heard of before,
Yeah,
then you tend to generally like jump onto that. Then you don't need to think so much.
right, right.
Otherwise, you're actually sitting and thinking, okay, I can do this with this character, or maybe if we add something like this to another layer to this character, then maybe it will work. Then you're kind of like working around it.
You're right. Yeah, because it's all about experimentation as well. But then
Yeah,
also breaking out of that conventional story.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, I totally get it because coming from a writer, I do not like to do the whole, same story trope like you had said, like the guy who's like a mafia guy, girl falls in love. I try to break out of
Yeah,
that because it gets boring. Um,
exactly.
you know,
Like,
um,
I have got parts where I've played parts where I have added things to the character so many times, and just for making it more interesting for myself,
right.
like backstory or layering or something that's happening off screen, which is not the scenes that is not that are not there. You make a life about him that they're not showing, so that when I'm playing it, it's interesting for me.
Yeah.
And I discuss it with my director, and I say that, okay, I know that you want me to play it this way, but I want to do this, but I don't want to do it like this. Let me try it like this. Like, that's totally different.
A bit of like negotiation has to go on, in order to make the
Yeah,
character substantial.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the director has to be extremely brave and you know um, and like because um, it's something which is very you know you have to work together. It's like sometimes they tell me something which is always helpful, or so yeah, a lot of times I've done that
Wow.
just
Yeah.
to make it interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of acting, just being able to create these backstories that may be missing in order to fulfill this character and give it a realistic or relatable life, to the
Yes,
audience that could view it.
and for me to be invested in that character, you know
Yeah.
or just to how to play a scene. Sometimes you work so much on the script and you feel that the way the director is asking me to do a certain scene, you feel, no, I don't want to do it like this, because
Yeah.
and more a lot of, yeah, and I've been lucky that I worked with directors where they have heard me out and they've changed everything. They've said that, okay, makes sense, let's change
Yeah.
everything now, don't
Yeah,
do this,
I was gonna say
do it your way.
because, there are some directors who are just so stuck in the story that
Yeah,
they want to showcase, and then you have those who are willing to take a chance and, like you said,
yes,
work together.
yeah.
Um, Moving on from that, I mean, let's talk about the frenzy surrounding Vicky Rai in The Great Indian Murder.
Mm.
He's very easy on the eyes, but highly unlikable. Could you tell me a bit about him?
Mm. So basically, I was cast in this show at the end. Uh, Everyone else was already cast, and there was not much time actually left for us to go on floor. And I had actually auditioned for another part in the same show, which I did not get, which was Munna's part, which Shashank Arora played very beautifully. And so, and then the casting director called me and he said that the show is not leaving your, like, would you be interested in playing this one? And I said, yeah, sure. What is it? And then he said that I can't send you the script. Why don't you just speak to the director? And I speak Manshu Dhuli, and I've always wanted to work with him. It was like, I have sent him like cold messages, like you send like just
Yeah.
like asking for work, like,
Wow.
sir, I'm this and I've done this and I would like to work with you. If something comes up, please let me know. And that was not exactly like, maybe 6 months before we had this meeting. So it just happened, and he said that this is the script, and he narrated it to me. And I loved that this character is so unabashedly himself. It's so, like, there is no backstory to him that why is he like this? Because sometimes there is no need of making, sometimes, because sometimes when you are making a reason that why he ends up becoming such a weirdo, or such a, it might dilute
Mhm.
the craziness, because some people are just like that without any reason.
Yeah.
It's like, and to play someone who's just born like that, and it's so amazing. Like, I wish this goes on for a few more seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we're so region restricted here, so I wasn't able to see the series, but I did get to see the trailer. I saw a
Mhm.
scene where Vicky like literally kicks Shabnam Saxena in the
Yeah,
ass and like she goes flying. So it's just he's such a bold Casanova that it almost gave off like Nawazuddin Siddiqui vibes, but like to a
hmm,
certain degree where it was still fresh and new and it wasn't exactly like roles that he has played. Um,
hmm,
yeah, but like the whole getting caught up in the scandal and the whole who done it type
yeah.
series, it was very, very intriguing.
Oh yes, it was. Like, this is kind of a series where you like, everything that you can ask for is there. Like, you want to work with a good set of people. You want
Yeah.
to work with people who you look up to. You want to work with co-actors who will keep you on your toes, and you're always learning from them. Who are extremely talented because they make your life easier, but um, you come back rejuvenated, and that's what you want to do always. You want to
Yeah.
keep learning and evolving. So you have that. You have someone like Ashutosh Rana. You have Raghubir Yadav. So, and then there's a director who's always like so open for new things, and he himself is so confident with what he wants and about his vision. And he himself is such a good actor, Tigman Stulia, so he understands actors. He understands what you could be going through.
Right.
Like the first day I went to him and I said, the first scene, I said, I don't feel it and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't like what I did. So, and we never met before, because we never met before. We never had a reading session or a rehearsal or anything. It was
So
straight
it was on the spot.
on the spot. I was like straight. I went to shoot and we did a scene, and I was like, so I don't know this guy, but let's go tell him that you have to direct me, sir. You have to tell me something. And he just looked at me and he's like, I said, am I doing it right, or do you think that He's like, I also don't know because today is my first day with this character. So,
Wow. It's
so
again going back to that experimentation, and just
yeah,
seeing what you could perform and like how he could take that in.
totally. And he just said that let's explore him together. So suddenly from this place of, oh, I have to be really good, it came to, okay, we're working together, let's explore. So he gave me space and then I understood a little bit and I would do on my own. And then he would say, okay, keep this, okay, don't do this. And, oh, this was very good. So it was totally like a co-working space where, and he's an audience and he's a very intelligent audience. So you want to impress him and you want to make him happy. And so, like, someone was asking me, how does it feel like when so many people are appreciating your work now? And I said, um, the appreciation that I wanted, I got it on the set.
Yeah.
This is really nice that people are appreciating my work. But actually, what I was working for was him liking it, because it's his vision.
Right.
So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
after the shot, if he would say, or if I would feel that, oh, nailed it, that was the best thing.
Oh, that's incredible. You know, now transitioning from Vicky Rai because there was a more less Casanova type character that you played. I know you recently starred in a short film
Mhm.
called La Gajavali, which was shot during the
Yeah.
lockdown, and it was a part of this, Love in the Time of Corona anthology. From my understanding, so you played the role of Sunny, and
Mm.
what was interesting, because the film I had the opportunity to see that. It sort of felt like being in this confined space during the pandemic. You and your co-actor, who are, a separately married, a recently separated married couple, you both have the opportunity to just get a reality check of your relationship while being in that confined space and bringing life to that, in contrast to the literal death that's happening outside of
Mm.
that confined space.
Yeah.
So at least that's how I looked at it. But,
Mm.
feel free to dive in more about your character and that storyline.
Uh, that was something that I did at that time because we were all locked up, and this short film comes to me when you're just sitting at home and just thinking how it would be right now to go out, and in the like peak of pandemic, we shot for that, and so I just wanted to experience that whole thing of how life has changed, and let me go out and see what's happening, and how will I, how would I um, like react like to the surroundings? What would be my uh, expression of how do I, like the artist in me, relate to what's going on? You know,
Yeah.
to just to see how things have affected me, uh, and so that was the main reason for me to say yes and go ahead and do this short film because um, And yes, it was very tough, because everything, we were like very small crew shooting on in a like small house, and uh, we don't know if we would ever get to shoot again. And then something like this comes out, and then you're like, okay, will this be the future of films? Like 10 people in a room shooting,
Yeah, yeah. I
because
mean,
you never knew.
it was a shock, for everyone, artists in general. Like I always looked at it that, everyone who were against artists, especially if, you decided to be an artist,
Yeah,
I was like, what are you all retreating to during the pandemic? You're on Netflix, you're watching films, you're reading
yeah,
books. These are all produced by
exactly,
artists. And
exactly.
it was so sad because, like, I just remember it so vividly. Didn't understand what was happening in the world. It felt like a scene out of The Walking Dead. Um,
Yeah,
and here as an artist, I was learning from some of my friends out in Holland that they're daily musicians. Yes, they have their day jobs, but they're always performing. They're keeping, Indian culture alive through their music. And one of my friends reached out and he said it's so frustrating because now there are no
yeah,
gigs and you can't be in the
yeah,
same room with people. So the
exactly.
fact that, nobody really knew what was happening, and then to
Yeah,
have a film like that, that really shows the realities of
yeah,
relationships and life in general.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know, because I don't know how, like, I've heard of how people, there were a lot of people, for them, it was extremely difficult to live in the same house with the family, because
Yeah,
they, and there was a
yeah,
lot of divorces happening, and, all these things. I don't know about that. But yeah, but it was really hurtful to know that, how the daily wages workers were, what they were going through outside, and um that was the only thing that made me feel low and down during that period. Otherwise, like just being on my own for 2 3 months, that wasn't a problem, or just staying indoors wasn't a problem.
yeah. I could totally
Mm.
relate to that because, I mean, naturally I'm introverted, so but I can be
Mhm.
extroverted when I need to be. So, everyone, I remember having my students, we've always had discussions in the Zoom classroom, and a lot of my extroverted students were like, we need to have classes in person. They were like dying to get out of their house. And my introverted students were with me on the same playing field. Like, we're okay with staying indoors. We have no problem with that. But it is really sad to see, and even the amount of deaths, because I had experienced a lot of family deaths,
Oh,
so it was a shock to everyone, but I feel like humans aren't naturally designed to be
mm,
cut off from communication in the world.
yeah,
So, it was definitely something very hard, but it forced, in that short film that you did, it sort of forced a rebirth of life, um,
mm,
in that confined space and in that relationship between,
yeah,
these two characters.
yeah. That's also mostly like a new situation. If you put an old relationship in a new situation, what would happen? And it was more like that. That okay, so in the normal everyday life, they were like in the normal situation, they were not. This thing was not working anymore,
Right.
because they were seeing each other from the same lens every day, and they had forgotten how and why were they together. And when something like this happened, and their true identities came out again, and they had the time to sit back and look at each other, and that okay, hmm, oh yeah, this guy is caring, and maybe he's just out of work, but he doesn't earn money, but everything else that I would want in a partner, he has that, which that girl was not looking at before. Or same with this guy, that the things that he saw in her, in this new situation when they were like locked up in the same house. And um, yeah, it was interesting. But more than
Yeah.
that, more than the story and more than the shoot, it was just me, the actor, wanting to go out and work in this, you know, what was going on in the world and how would
Definitely.
a film be made.
Hmm. In this pandemic time.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, and it's also, it was the small things. Like I remember when your character bought ice cream and like she kind
yeah,
of, it was like the small little things that you get to recognize, like you had said. Um, but yeah, I mean, that was a great film. And then we were like 2 months into the pandemic and Netflix was recommending Bethel for me to
yeah,
watch. And, that was that was I saw a lot of like mixed reviews on that series, but it was interesting
yeah,
because getting to learn about every character. Again, you're in this confined space at one point. A
mm,
lot of emotions and relationships are tested. And your character,
mm,
Akbar, is like literally done with everyone's shit. He wants to pull out of this,
mm,
and his complexity, it really does help amplify the story. And, we learned that
yeah,
he does survive in the end. Was
mhm.
this your first horror series that you had worked on?
Yeah. Actually,
What,
it was, yes.
what was that experience like?
I was extremely like worried before going in because I was like whatever horror shows that I've seen before were like the kind of conviction in the fear that you need to show. And I was thinking, my God, that is like, zombies running after me and me getting all scared. To just perform that on that level with full conviction is extremely like challenging. But surprisingly, when I read the script, again, what connected with me was the how Akbar actually was, how he felt towards his brother. It was like a human story. How he was stuck there, and there was this cousin of his, and he was coming from a place of love and concern towards this guy. So he was certainly like everyone saying, "Let's go left," and he's like, "No, I'm going to go right." So he was an antithesis of the main protagonist. So
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
he was saying, he was, yeah,
right, yeah, because from the get-go, I mean, there is just so much tension between Akbar and
yes,
Sarohi, and then,
yes,
it starts to escalate when they take refuge. And then you get to see that Akbar isn't just full of all this angst, but he is very protective and he does feel
yeah,
responsible for his cousin brother. Um,
yes,
and then there is a point where Huck says that Akbar just wants to go back to his family in one piece.
yeah,
And then that really gets to show you, okay, well, he has the intention to survive, and
yeah,
he is a family man, but he is also torn between the responsibility that he has as a soldier,
yeah,
and the fact that he's stuck in this situation with a family member. Like
yeah,
he'll give his life for this family member.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just it's such an interesting story, but like I have to know, what was your impression of those zombies?
Uh, uh, we had a lot of fun in that shoot. We would make fun of those zombies all the time, and uh, but yeah, in the big, because the makeup team was so good, and we were in the beginning, we were like really taken aback by what they had come up with, and there was this whole army of zombies, and they were running around, and so it took a few days for us to normalize ourselves that okay,
Yeah.
these are just guys in masks. But yeah, and even that plot of me and I forget her name in the show, uh, uh,
The
when she
villager?
comes in,
Is
yeah,
it
she
Punya, right?
uh, Punya, yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Thanks so
yeah.
much.
I mean, the tension there, because like your characters are
Yeah,
stuck quite often together. I mean, you're in the car
yeah,
together, you're taking
yes,
refuge in that cell. And it's like you guys are bickering all the time, but you also
yes,
need each other to survive.
yes,
And then, when Akbar comes back in at the end, driving in
yeah,
the car, I was like, I knew he wasn't gonna back out of this.
Yeah. And even when she comes in, she says that, I'm going in. And I'm like, no, this fight is not mine.
Yeah.
I have my own fights back home. And you crazy, you go. That was a very special like scene which says everything about Akbar. Why is he like that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where I got, his his responsibility, being torn
Yeah.
between those responsibilities,
Mm,
and the fact that she kind of called him out on it, even though it was behind his back and called him a coward, but
yeah.
then they came in together. I mean, I'm kind of like hoping for a season two because it just left,
We all were. We were all making
but
fun that maybe the second season would be a love story between both of them.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it was such a great series, I was
Mm,
the jump scares were great as well because again, it was
mm,
just trying to cope with the pandemic, at least when it released here in America. It was
yeah.
in like late May. So I was just
Mm,
so drawn in the series. Yeah, but it was great. Now, tell me about your role in Abu Mushai Bandukbaz,
mm,
because that was also like you were working with Nawazuddin Siddiqui, who like
yeah.
I highly admire as, I just
Mhm,
coming from the same place in India, in UP, and I'm like always looking for his
mhm,
films because I think he's just an incredible actor. But yeah, tell me,
mhm.
about that experience.
Yeah, for that also, like before that, I was doing all 2 days work and one scene here and one scene there mostly. Uh, and I had auditioned for a part which was a two scene part, for the film. And I got a call back that, they are looking for uh, an actor for a bigger part. And would you be interested? And I was like, yeah, well, yes. And so they sent me the script and I read it and I was like, wow, this is like an amazing script. Uh, and then I went in an audition for the part. And then I got to know that the main guy is Nawaz. I was like, what are you saying? Because before that, when you're like finding work and you're looking at all these, you know, best actor of India and
Right.
Nawazuddin Siddiqui, and you listen to their interviews and get inspired by them. Okay, and then just off the hat, one day you get to do a film with this guy. And, my experience on that was amazing because uh, I remember thinking to myself that this guy is so an actor's actor. He is someone who uh, uh, he's in for the right reason. He enjoys his work and he uh, like he's an actor. He's not there for the wrong reasons. He would sit in the heat on a small chair, sweating, waiting for his shot, not uh, you know throwing any tantrums or anything. He would come prepared, have questions, give ideas, would improvise, get excited like a kid. Oh my God, what did you do? What did you say? Oh my God, let's do this. Let's do this. If we do this, it's going to be an amazing scene. Jatin, try this. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And when he's stuck, he'll be constantly smoking and he'll be like, okay, what can I do in this scene? And that's exactly what you're looking for. And especially with that kind of an experience. He's been doing this for so long and
Yeah.
he's worked in, he's done such a good performances. And so that thing of, oh my God, am I going to be working with Nawaz? He just took care of it like in one day. And we were together, we were just right there. Not even a day, it was maybe in an hour of meeting him. I was so normal and I was so relaxed. And then it was just amazing. It was so much fun working with him. And yeah, just sitting and chatting and listening to his, stories, all what he's been through. And it was an extremely learning experience, I would say.
Wow. Yeah, because
Mm,
you know, you could see at times that an off-screen chemistry or friendship translates easily on screen. And then, you know, you have your two characters who are rivals, and, you know, their reputations are tested throughout the film. And then you throw a woman in it, and then there's sexual tension and there's a love triangle,
Yeah.
you know, happening. But you guys did shoot in UP, right? For the film?
Oh yes.
Wow.
In the peak of summer on 50 degrees, we were in UP outdoors running in underwears. It was
Well,
super crazy.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it looked like a great film though. Again, just being region restricted, like we don't have access to a lot of
Uh, mm,
films in India, so it's like we have to wait until they come out, you know, at a later date. But yeah, I mean, like the trailer and just seeing snippets of scenes between your character Banke and Nawaz's character Babu were just they were so enthralling because of all that
oh.
tension that was there.
I
Um,
feel that an actor is as good as, the other actors he's working with, and for me, the most important thing is to, like, obviously, this is my career, and that is, it's a profession and everything, but it's a passion more than anything else.
oh yeah.
I'm doing this because I just love to do this, and the only thing that you want is to work with great artists, to be around great artists, to be around people you've looked up to and you admire, and just that, being around such people is a gift,
Yeah, it does.
It's,
It is rewarding because, you know, knowing that you have that cohesion, again, it just makes things a lot easier. And like you said, you know, going back to your humble background and like knowing Nawazuddin Siddiqui comes from a humble background too. So, you
yeah.
know, it makes things a lot easier. And just knowing that you're not in it for all the wrong reasons, you can see that passion
Yeah.
translate on screen and even, you know, in interviews and things like that. So
Like right now, today morning, I was sitting with Manoj Bajpayee in his room,
I
having
love
coffee,
him.
yes,
Oh my goodness.
and having a chat. And I was just thinking to myself, okay, life is perfect.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like a few days back, like I'm doing a film with him, so he would just call me, and we would sit in chat and go for dinners and um, spend a lot of time together. And I remember watching Satya and running on roads, singing his songs, 20 years back. And now I'm sitting with him having a coffee and chatting, and, just chatting like normal two friends,
Yeah.
oh, what do you
Yeah.
think about this? And so this kind of to sit with your hero or someone, uh, and for him to watch my show and give me a proper feedback for an hour, talk about, oh, you tried to do this and you did this and this was very good. And, it was like a master class happening, one on one. You know?
Wow.
And
I mean, it's incredible because the world is so small, but then, you know, little things like this happen. Um, do you ever just sit back and kind of question it a little? Like, is it too unreal, surreal? Um, like, why is this happening? Or should this be happening?
no, I don't. I work too hard
Yeah, right.
to be here. Yeah, I'm
Got
like,
it.
okay, thank God this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm always like grateful. I'm like I don't question it like why. Uh, but sometimes it becomes a bit tough to digest that. Okay, it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not. Yeah. So
Definitely.
it kind of becomes a bit overwhelming a little bit when. Uh, but then I think that just being grateful about it is that's enough. Because uh, you know, uh, yeah, for me it's huge. For me, just him saying, "Oh, Jatin, aja, Jatin." He knows my name. He knows
Yeah.
my name. Wow, my life is perfect.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, hard work does pay off. You know, Just I was working backward in terms of your credits and your experience in movies, but I also wanted to talk about your character Jatin in Yadi Road, where you're
Ah,
constantly
mhm,
evolving, through experimentation to find your purpose as a struggling actor. So I wanted to know what the line
mm,
between fact and fiction was in comparison to your own experiences as an actor.
wow. So basically, how that started was that obviously we worked, me and
In Samrat,
Samrat and
right?
Gaurav had, yeah,
Yeah.
we worked together in Bombay Summer.
Mhm.
And so,
2009, that was,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. So every time after that, Samrat would come to Mumbai, we would meet and we would party and we would chill. So this time he and Gaurav came up with this idea of creating something. Let's do some short film or something. And we were just brainstorming. And, so yeah, a lot of things came up more than from myself. The people that I've seen around, because Yari Road in itself is a place in Mumbai, in Andheri West, where it's
Mhm.
just kind of a hub of all these people from who come to become actors, filmmakers, editors, everyone. So it's like a small, what would I say, 3 kilometers, not even three, 1 kilometer radius thing where it's like a hub and everyone comes and lives there. So if you're going on in the morning, if you go down to buy milk, you will meet all kinds of actors, filmmakers, everyone lives there.
Wow.
So, so yeah, so I was also living there at that time, and uh, so it's about the like whoever you see around, So it's a kind of a representation of uh, the world and the life and the people and the characters that you're actually living with around you. So Gaurav's character was of people that we've seen around who live in that loathe. They like to loathe their uh, or live in that self pity of, oh, I am an
Mhm.
artist, and things should happen for me, and
Right.
you know. So a lot of things we took from our characters, and a lot of things were from the things that we've seen around. Uh, but yeah, a lot of things were, yeah. There is this constant thing of evolving, because like that character, he keeps doing new things, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in yoga now," and I'm like,
That was so
the
funny.
spiritual
Like,
thing. Yeah,
because when Samrat, we're introduced to your character chopping onions, and then, he tells Samrat that, he's praying and he's chanting for Gaurav, and like Samrat's like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
but what about the casting? So, I thought that was just so intriguing because, your character does one thing, leaves it, goes to another thing, and then,
yeah,
he just always through these different these phases.
yeah,
And he gets coined as Mr. Yoga at one point because
yeah,
this is currently like what he's experimenting with.
yeah. But that's what it is, A lot of you meet so many actors who into chanting, Buddhism, and someone's into yoga and all kinds of spiritual things. Someone becomes extremely religious and has goes to the mandir every second day, and because it's extremely tough being here. You need some kind of an anchor because you're constantly uh, living in an unknown. There is no certainty, and there's every day there's defeat, and there's people judging you, and uh, so my character was such who has found his you know vibe in the whole city that keeps jumping from one thing to the other.
Yeah.
you know and okay, this is my new thing, and oh, I'm into chanting, and I have my new friends, and I know 50 new people, and I go and sit with them, and we do this and we do that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's exactly how it is.
And you
Mm,
put it so beautifully that, as an artist in general, you kind of live each day with uncertainty because, like you said, you are
yeah,
being judged. You don't know. what will happen tomorrow, you know?
No,
You submit that audition tape, you don't know if you'll get the role. Um, so there's always just uncertainty, but I think it's beautiful that as artists we take the risk of doing what
yes.
we do because we love to do what we do.
Like I would say that I had about 8 years of rejection, before I got Baba Mushai.
Wow.
So, and it's just that you have to hold on to something. So some people can and some people cannot.
Yeah.
And you see stories of you know people giving up and going back or losing it or getting depressed, getting suicidal, all kinds,
Mhm.
addicts, and you're like, wow, what is happening,
It's
And
insane, yeah.
I don't think you should share, put this thing up
No,
because
no,
it's
no.
extremely sad. It's very
No.
sad. Yeah, but
But it's the reality, that
it is
like
the
you said,
reality.
just to keep yourself grounded because a lot of times you might throw yourself into a character. I know like a lot of method actors, who will do
Yeah,
these sort of things and just at the end of the day it's you. You're out of that
yeah,
character now. So what is going to be there for you at the end of the day? And for a lot of actors and artists, they have different escape methods.
yeah. And I feel that the work is so different from who you are.
Right.
Work, because it is work eventually. It is not you. You know, the point is that in any art form, you need to know you, uh, so that you know who you are and what you stand for and what is your opinion and what is your point of view and then what do you want to say and what you want to express, and then you do that. But in that process you get to know yourself, and and who you are not,
Right.
and then when it becomes a business, then because it's a business at the end of the day, and you're in for the money also,
Hmm.
and it's a profession. And at that time it's not just you cannot just be a that's what I feel. You can tell me if I'm wrong or not.
No,
Right now
no.
that's what I feel, that you cannot just be a maverick artist who doesn't give a shit about the world, and this is who I am and I will live my own, because you have to be at 9 o'clock on set with your lines ready to perform, excited, hopefully,
Yeah.
and interested, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, and for doing that, you need to have a balanced mind. You have to have uh, after going through all those struggles and rejections and all that, you need to have, you need to be in a state where you can perform. Uh, and I think that's extremely, I'm sorry, I lost you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, I saw your screen black out for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something which is extremely difficult and very important, I feel.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I mean, I really couldn't say it better myself. Um, I mean, just such an array of characters that you have portrayed on screen to showcase, that versatility that you have. Um, which one of your fictional characters do you feel like you identify with the most? If there's any outstanding similarities or maybe
Mm.
differences that you recognized, or maybe you don't identify with
Mm.
one.
Uh, I think Bombay Summers character
Mhm.
I identified with a lot.
That
Madan,
was Madan, right?
Madan, yes. Uh, I don't know why, but yeah,
That was your first film
I
that,
think because of that. Yeah,
yeah. Ah, interesting. It's always like the primary
yeah.
source, I guess, and yeah, that's intriguing.
like our backgrounds were very different, but I think how he felt and how he the way he was is
Mm,
very close to how I am. Mm.
interesting. Now, the arts and entertainment industry, no matter where in the world, it can be daunting in general. But how have your humble beginnings and your identity influenced your work? Have you ever found yourself having to compromise your identity to quote unquote fit in with into the film industry in India?
No, I don't think so. Till now, I have had that problem of feeling that I need to change. More than, yeah, I don't know if that's change or not. My personality, but that's something that you will do eventually. Although it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
If you go and if you, I think if you go somewhere and if you meet new people, you make new friends, you get influenced by certain things. You like certain things, you change. You know if you grow, you get to know about yourself certain things which you don't like, and you
Right.
leave them, and then you like certain things that you uh, want to be like, and you try to incorporate that in your personality. I feel like maybe I don't know.
Yeah,
Are you
I
saying
I
yeah,
I feel like that comes with the whole world of networking. You
yeah,
like you said, you're constantly discovering maybe things you like, you don't like. Yeah, yeah, I think you don't necessarily compromise your identity, but I guess you kind of reevaluate it.
yeah? And I don't know if someone's extremely happy with the way he is all the time.
Right.
I'm sure that, yeah, like I
Yeah.
have some like certain things about myself which I don't like right now, and I would like to change them. So I don't know about if it's for my work or if it's for, yeah, certainly it's not coming from someone else's validation or because
Right.
they want me to be like that, but it's your own understanding that, okay, if I bring in something like this, or if I think like that, or, it can change my craft, or it can change the way I think about um, work. So mm, change is the only constant kind of thing.
Mm.
But
Yeah, I mean, we're very complex human beings, so,
and
understanding that won't happen overnight, but it's definitely, I guess as you continue to network and
no, it's
reevaluate
even
yourself.
about. It's also about to know that, okay, who my character is. If I'm working on this character, I
Right.
need to know who I am first. So I know that, okay, this is me and this is him, and we
Yeah.
are two different people. And now I'm going to be this guy. So
Yeah, because it
all
can
these things,
get
yeah,
muddled in a sense where,
yeah.
things might overlap. But yeah, interesting.
Because a lot of times people just say that, okay, I'm this and this is this guy, and he is lonely. I am lonely.
Yeah.
He is insecure. I am
Yeah.
insecure, and let's just play on that to those two
Yeah.
things. But there are 10 more different things that he is, which you are not.
Right.
So you have to focus on those two. I am not this person, and I have to be this person now.
Yeah.
But then when you're questioning that, you're questioning who I am also. You know. So in that, those answers are extremely tough to handle.
Yeah, definitely. Um, any advice or wisdom you'd like to offer any upcoming actors, aspiring actors?
I already did that, no? When I said all those things about Yari Road.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I feel about. That upcoming actors need to work on not just their craft, but also, uh, you know, this is a tough business. You have to be here for the right reasons, and uh, like how to get to the job, and if you don't get it, how to deal with that. Yeah, that's something we should work on.
Absolutely. Now what's next for you? What can we look forward to seeing you in? And are there any actors, actresses, directors, producers, anyone that you would like to work with in the future?
Uh, there's one film that I've done with Rajkumar Rao, which is going to come out in May. It's called Hit, HIT. Sanya Malhotra is there and Rajkumar Rao. This is a remake of a Telugu film. Then there's a film called Anek with Ayushmann Khurrana, and Anubhav Sinha directed that one, which is coming on out in March. Then I'm also a part of Delhi Crime Season 2, and
Really? Oh, I've been waiting for
yeah,
season 2 for like ever.
I don't know when it's coming out, but yeah, we've already shot for it,
Okay.
and again, there's an amazing cast in that.
Yeah.
And then right now I'm doing this film with Sharmila Tagore and Manoj Bajpayee and Suraj Sharma. So uh, hopefully this will be out by end of this year. And I think that's it. Yeah, right now.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Whatever releases like first in America, I'm down for it. Now, where can fans connect with you and keep up with your journey in the industry? Any social media handles that you want to include?
Yeah, my Instagram is I think Jatin Goswami official.
Okay. Okay. So I will link that then. Okay. So now on to our random fun fact questions. So if you weren't an actor, what do you think you'd be doing or aspiring to do?
I think I would be a monk.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Oh,
seriously.
wow. A monk.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 places you'd want to travel to and why?
Mm. Oh, New York. Yeah, because I have seen a lot of Woody Allen films, and I so look forward to go there one. Scorsese and Woody Allen, they're like obsessed with New York. They keep
Oh,
showing New
I
York in
mean,
like,
New York is, I
yeah.
mean, as a New Yorker, maybe I'm a bit biased to saying that it's great, but I mean, it is what it is.
Like I want to go there and do a play. That's what I want to do.
You would
And
definitely love like Radio City, Broadway. That's like in the heart of the city. There's so much going on all the time.
like that's what I would like. I keep imagining like what would it be like if I'm shooting in New York and I'm living there and I'm going for my shoot in the morning, coming back in the evening,
Yeah,
or maybe doing a play in France, somewhere in Paris, and I'm going for rehearsals and then I'm coming back and on
listen,
my way I'm getting something to eat.
if I ever like, because I'm more of a fiction writer and I have dabbled in screenplays, but like if I ever write a play, I'll let you know. It's like it's set in
Amazing.
New York.
Yeah, I will come and do the show anytime.
Yeah. And what about 2 other places?
Um, where would I like to travel? Oh, it's very weird, but for a very long time I wanted to go to Auschwitz and
Right. Okay.
and
It's not weird.
Poland. It's not right.
No.
But then because I love Kieslowski also, and I kept reading about Kieslowski and Polanski, so I
Mm,
wanted to go to Poland, and then because of its history, I wanted to go to Auschwitz. And so yeah, New York, Auschwitz, and
and Poland. Or New York,
uh,
Auschwitz, and Poland? Or should we do Auschwitz?
Auschwitz and Poland, right?
Yeah, and New York.
Oh, and then yeah, that's I think two
That's
places
that's
I think of.
that's intriguing. What are 4 items I would need? So like let's just say I'm coming to India, right? What are 4 items I would need in my starter pack survival kit?
Oh, hmm, coming to India, you need. Uh, I think you would need You should have a journal because you'll have experiences that you should write.
Got that. Yep.
You should have a nice camera, click pictures. Uh, you should have a sense of humor. These things would happen. And you should have a lot of patience. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll work on the patience thing, but I think
Yeah.
everything else, I think I'd be fine with that. The next question, I'm shuffling your music playlist. Name 5 artists and or songs I wouldn't expect to listen to.
You wouldn't get there, or you would get there. What do you mean?
So
You wouldn't
I'm,
expect, and then
yeah, so they're on your music playlist, but like I wouldn't necessarily
ah,
expect to hear them
okay.
as your music
You
playlist
find
is
a
like,
lot of Punjabi
oh,
songs,
okay.
yeah. And then you listen to uh, who else? Wow. Uh, there'll be Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then there'll be um, uh, there'll be Coke Studio, then there'll be yeah. Hmm, who else? I listen to these days. What's that guy's name? I have listened to music. Looking for Sugar Man. You know about that?
No, but I could Google it. Looking for, what is it called? Looking for,
That guy, yeah, Sugar Man, Candyman. His name is Gonzalez, some Gonzalez. It's a documentary about this guy.
oh,
Uh,
looking for, searching for Sugar Man?
yeah, what's his name?
Oh, the
I love that
soundtrack of
guy.
it.
It's about this artist. His name is some Gonzalez. Let me check.
Oh, Rodriguez.
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
yeah.
Ah, okay, in South Africa. Okay.
You've heard him? You
No, I
should listen
haven't.
to him. He's very good. Yeah,
No, I'll
he's
definitely check him out.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so Punjabi
Hmm.
songs,
Not really.
reggae? Did you say reggae?
Yeah, reggae too. Bob Marley. A lot of Bob
Oh
Marley I
yeah,
listen
I
to.
mean, grew up
Yeah,
on Bob Marley. Yeah, he's great.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay. Um, Now what's been your comfort food to beat the angst of the global pandemic?
I was making a lot of pizzas actually.
Really?
Uh, Homemade pizzas for myself, and sometimes I would make halwa also. Yeah. But I was cooking every day. I used to cook for myself.
Okay. Wow. I don't know why, I found myself eating, and like one of my Pakistani friends, like we weren't complaining about it, but
Mm.
it was just interesting. A lot of like dal, and then
Ah,
like
yeah, yeah,
we always had like khichdi as well. Because that was
yeah.
like, it's like let me
Easiest.
drown my sorrows in khichdi.
Yeah.
And now this is optional, so you can choose to answer this or
Mm.
not. The question is, I'm going on a Zoom blind date with one of your fictional characters. Assuming I don't buy zone him by the end of the date, who's in the Zoom room with me and why?
I think Vicky Rai.
Oh shit.
You can never buy zone here.
Oh man, I had a feeling it might have been Vicky Rye, but
Yeah. You cannot buy zone here. I think
why?
that he's
But why?
extremely I think he's the kind of guy that you would love to be around if you meet him once a month.
Hmm,
He would be a center of attraction in a party. He would be super fun. He would be entertaining. It's just that someone, if you know him more than, if you know him, meet him more than once a month, if he's a part of your life, he's a pain. But otherwise, he's an amazing guy to be with because he
got
likes to party. He likes to spend money. He likes to do all the bad things, which are so much fun, you know. And he's not evil in the sense of he
right,
does bad things, but he doesn't mean harm to anyone. It's just
right,
that, oh
right.
shit, You get stuck in all that shit. Okay?
Yeah, okay, so, like, not it's just, like, maybe a once a month
Yeah.
Zoom meeting,
If you
that's it.
meet, yeah, if you meet him like once a month, he is the guy to be with in a party.
Got it,
You
got
want
it.
to be on his table. Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, yeah, I mean, that's great, Vicky Rye. Alright, well, I mean, if there's anything else that you wanna say, feel
Oh, I
free
already
to.
spoke so much. I spoke so
I'm
much. I'm sure you didn't think that this is going to go on for so long.
No, and that's the thing, like, I mean, I wanted it to be casual, cool, like, no pressure on anything, but yeah, I mean, it's been great chatting with you. Thank you so
Yes.
much again for doing this. Um, I'll let you know, when the article will release, and,
So,
yeah, I mean, just, send over a picture that you'd like to be included in it, and yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, I'm just very grateful that, you took some time out to
oh,
chat.
thank you so much. It was lovely to chat with you. It was kind of therapeutic. I just spoke whatever came to my mind.
Yeah,
It
I
was
know.
like a therapy session.
It was great. Yeah, like I don't know why I usually function as like the uncertified therapist, but yeah, I mean
Yeah, you
it's
do? Wow.
yeah, yeah, I don't know why.
Every interview that you take is like goes on for hours and
Yeah, it's
wow.
strange. But yeah, but this was great. So I won't take up any more of your time, but thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was
Take
lovely
care.
chatting.
Same
Yeah.
here. Thank you.